Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be depth perception and the narcissist. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So you'll notice the background. There's depth. It goes back pretty far, and there's width, and there's height. This is depth. Depth is three-dimensional. And when you're looking at depth perception, an example this morning, I was making an omelet and I was cutting up some vegetables, and my vision isn't the best, so I couldn't reach the peppers and the onions because they were a little further away than I thought. That is depth perception. That's what happens when you do have proper sight. Now, I don't have the best sight. I'm getting it fixed. I'm getting it looked into. But the point being is, with the narcissist, your depth perception of them, it was completely off. Now, this wasn't your fault. Remember, you weren't taught Narcissism 101 in school. You didn't know what you were up against. But now that you're understanding not only what depth perception is in everyday life, but that the narcissist has no depth at all. These people are cardboard cutouts. They're walking holograms. They're mimickers. There is nothing to them. They enter relationships on a whim. They end them even quicker. And in between is a lifetime or years or months of toxicity that people have to experience and unwind and unravel. That is why this is the relationship that you will need to heal from, just like I had to. It will take time. It will take a lot of time, but in your time you will heal. If you utilize the tools that are provided for you with each and every video I create, and with all the beautiful wisdom and comments from all over the globe on all the videos, understanding a few things, that you are deep. You have depth to you. And that was perceived by the narcissist. Remember, these aren't plays on words. These are realities. You're the polar opposite of the narcissist. They saw who you were. They saw your beautiful empathy, your beautiful ability to fall in love, your commitment, your growth, your dedication, how you took the high road, how you always did the right thing. Maybe you were called like I was. You're a nice guy, Andrew. Maybe you were told that before. Well, that was a person mimicking you and mocking you and telling you that you'll never figure out who they were, simultaneously abusing you. You see, the narcissist, again, they have no depth, but the perception of them is that they have all the depth in the world. Think about post-relationship, when the narcissist went on to the new supply. My hope is by now you're over it and you've understood things and you've healed and you're healing properly. But if you haven't, I understand. Just remember, the new supply is not getting anything that you didn't get, which means they're either toxic, not that you're toxic, but they're either experiencing toxicity or they're toxic themselves and they're dishing it out to the narcissist. But anyway you cut it, the narcissist looked at you and they appeared as if they had all the depth in the world, and you would be so fortunate to be in a relationship with them. They knew more than you, they're smarter than you, and they're more, they have more worldly experiences and all this. These are all smoke and mirrors. Remember, the narcissist has nothing to them. There's no substance. So to you, you were perceiving that they were the best thing in your life, that they were the yin to your yang, they were your soulmate, or they would complete you. And that this is why post-relationship, it stung, it hurt so badly, because you had to heal from it. And your perception of their lack of depth was not evident. You thought they were the best person you had ever entered a relationship with. You thought you perhaps would grow old with them. Well, you're now understanding that depth is not something that everybody has, but perception is something that the narcissist has, and they're very good at it. The narcissist wants to weaponize how people perceive them against other people. Remember, the narcissist cares about what other people think about them. The narcissist cares about what other people do for them. The narcissist cares that other people are being stuck in the narcissistic fog and the trauma bond. And the narcissist knows what they're doing. If you think for a minute they don't know what they're doing, you really need to think again and watch more videos and journal and meditate and be authentic and honest with yourself and begin to practice radical acceptance. These people know exactly what they're doing. So depth perception of the narcissist, it cuts so many different ways. I'm just jumping on a few of them. Again, this video idea came up to me this morning when I was creating breakfast, and I was thinking, wow, I missed that onion. My hand couldn't quite reach it, and the pepper, and then I was like, wow, my depth perception is off. But you know what? That's what happened in the narcissistic relationship, because my perception of the narcissist was that they were a deep, loving, kind, stable, healthy person. There's nothing to these people. All they do is regurgitate back to other people, new supplies, or people trapped in the cycle, or people subservient to them, etc. They just recycle back other people's hopes, dreams, ideas, aspiration, goals. There's no originality in the narcissist. There never has been, and there never will be. You're understanding that now. You're learning it. And again, flip it. Post-relationship again. I know I'm bouncing around a lot, but I hope you're following this. Post-relationship, the perception was that you were the toxic person, that you were the unstable or unstable person. You're the person that needed help. That's not reality at all. You needed help, but a different kind of help, not the kind of help that the narcissist was telling other people via the smear campaign. You needed help because you needed to heal from the relationship, but the narcissist never told you that, did they? Of course they didn't. You need to also keep in mind the narcissist never walked up to you and gave you that 2-page report and said, here's who I am, here's what I've done to other people before I met you, this is what I will do with you if you enter the relationship with me. Once I take whatever I want from you, I will crumble you up like a sheet of paper, discard you, and I'll find a new source of supply, and I'll leave you reeling, and your money will be gone, your health will take a hit, your relationships will be blown up, your city, town, state, country won't mean the same to you any longer. You won't be able to enjoy music or movies, and you won't be able to have anything that you had before, your hobbies and your job. You will lose your purpose, you will lose your focus, you will lose your energy. This is what the narcissist does to people. It's what they're doing right now wherever they are. But again, the perception is everything, and the lack of depth on the behalf of the narcissist is everything. You were not taught this in school. You didn't know. You didn't have the wisdom. You didn't have the education. You didn't know that there are certain people out there that actually have zero depth. There also are people out there that do not have the ability to love. There are other people, and all three of these can be tied together in a moment, that have a absolutely remarkable ability to fake that they have depth, to fake that they can love, to fake that they do have empathy. And these people at the top of that list is the narcissist. The narcissist is a master shapeshifter, a master manipulator, a mimicker, a coward, a bully. They're shallow, they're hollow. I already told you they're cardboard cutouts, they're holograms. There's nothing to them. All they do is rerun the same script going over and over and over again. And they mastered that script so well. This is why they can move on from relationship to relationship so effortlessly, because all they did was they built upon the other former relationships that they had blown up. They added your relationship to the pile of destruction, and they threw you under the bus in the same light probably as their other former relationships. The one common denominator in the narcissistic relationship, the one common denominator, it's not you, it's the narcissist. How many times did you hear this person say, yeah, all my exes, no one wants to talk to me, my kids don't talk to me, and I can't catch a break, and no one loves me, and no one wants to spend time with me, I can't believe this. Or they would say other things like this, yeah, all my exes, they can't get enough of me. They never ever want to lose communication with me. They're always talking to me. They're always available to me. Any way you cut it with both extremes, never or always, that is the black and white mentality of the narcissist. The narcissist lives in bizarro world. What is left is right, what is up is down, what is in is out, and what is front is backwards. You didn't know that back then because your perception of them was something completely different. When you were trapped in that narcissistic fog, i.e. the narcissistic relationship, you didn't know how you got there. You didn't know what it was. You didn't know you were in a place called the trauma bond or the narcissistic fog. You didn't even know that narcissism existed because your perception of the person you're considering was that they had a whole bunch of depth and that everybody was fawning all over them and everybody cared about them and they were so important and you were so fortunate to spend some time with them whether you married them or not. Well, now that you understand so much more about not only narcissism but yourself but humanity, now you recognize and wrap your head around the fact that people are blocking the narcissist all over the globe. More and more people are becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered, and less people are tolerating the poor behaviors of the narcissist. Not only the one you're considering, but every other narcissist. The energy shift on the planet, it's happening. It's happening right now. It happened yesterday and it's happening tonight and tomorrow, and it will continue to happen until the light shines brighter than it ever has on this planet. You see, at one point, long before I was here or you, the light was everywhere. It was abundant. The darkness was hiding underneath the rocks in the pitch blackness in the low vibrational state. As time evolved, the darkness took over. And yes, I am going a little deep on you, but play the video and you'll get some wisdom. The darkness began to really infiltrate people's lives, not only in my country, but in all countries all over the globe. And more people became power hungry. They became greedy. They became narcissistic. They became entitled. They wanted to keep everything for themselves in that small little group of people who was controlling things. And they didn't want the common man, the everyday person, to get anything. That's why the shift that is taking place right now, it's realer than real. And I know that's not good English, but it's true. That's why people that have been through the cycle and risen through the ashes like a phoenix and what put themselves back together are now having a louder voice. When I say louder voice, I'm not saying yelling from the mountaintops, the rooftops. I'm saying we are getting more and more people understanding that it wasn't just them, that there are hundreds, and I mean hundreds of millions of us. Truth be told, there are probably a couple billion of us who've been through the cycle. Then there are many fewer people who have healed, and even fewer people who have healed and maintained their level of empathy and kindness and compassion. And those are the people that are the strongest people on the planet. The strength doesn't come from the dark side. The strength comes from the good side. The strength comes from the light. The strength comes from being in a toxic relationship, no matter what you want to call it, and having been discarded, crumbled up like a sheet of paper, thrown away with no chance at existing, and putting yourself back together against all odds, not knowing what kind of relationship you were in, and then rising through the ashes like a phoenix and recognizing and realizing that it is you that has the depth, and that the perception of other people about you, it doesn't matter. What matters is what you know, your truth, and that you do have a beautiful, bright, shining light within you, and it is shining higher than the sun, the moon, and the stars. This is what the narcissists try to take from you. This is what they try to extinguish. This is what they didn't want to ever get out and become unleashed in the world. That's why they took their best shot at you, trying to take you down for the count. But they failed. They couldn't do it. Unlike all the other people that they had been in relationships with before they were in a relationship with you. So now flip it before I close the video. Depth perception and the narcissist, really think about what I'm sharing with you. You have depth. You're an empath. You're kind, loving, stable, committed, resilient, diligent. You have purpose, direction. You're growing, you're evolving, you're changing. The narcissist has no depth because they're stuck in that low vibrational quagmire state. That's where they've always been. It's where they will always be. And that's the way it works on this planet. That's why they need to steal people's energy, people's time, people's relationships, and hopes and dreams and aspirations, because they use other people's depth for themselves. Now, that's depth. Perception, something completely different. The perception of the narcissist to the exterior world is that the narcissist is the best person. They're amazing. They go to all the events. Look at all the selfies they take. Look at all the filters. They're in all the big galas, and they're all over the planet. Well, that's smoke and mirrors. Are they at those locations? I can't tell you. And to be fair, I don't care. But it's perception. That's the mask. Think about it. Depth has no mask. A perception is a mask. That's the narcissist. That's why this morning when I was creating breakfast, this hit me like a ton of bricks. I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I used to be able to reach those onions and peppers pretty simply, but truth be told, my vision up close isn't the best. And then I was like, oh my gosh, depth perception, I'm kind of losing that there, but I'm working on getting it fixed. And then I realized, oh my gosh, that's the narcissist in a nutshell. You think that they're right there within your reach, within your grasp, but when you go to grab them, they're gone. That's depth perception. These people are shapeshifters. They're energy vampires. They are walking, ticking time bombs. There is no substance to them. This is why they smirk. This is why they grin. This is why they bat their eyelashes. This is why they show you the rosy cheeks. This is why they triangulate you. This is why they know what they're doing. This is why they discard people. The reason they discard people, there are a few reasons, but two main reasons for this video before I close it. One is because they've taken everything they possibly could from you. It's just that simple. Number two is because they found somebody with more opportunity and more resources than you. And they wanted to twist the knife in you and end that relationship whenever they did. But that's what these people do. That's why once you get the wisdom, you need to apply the tools, and you need to get off the radar of the narcissist, block them, go no contact, delete them, remove them, and all fly monkeys and people associated with them. And then you will realize that all the depth is within you. The narcissist has no depth. And the perception of the narcissist isn't true. It's the mask, it's the allure, it's the charm. And the perception of you via the smear campaign, don't give it a second attention. Anyone who drank the Kool-Aid of the smear campaign was toxic themselves. If no one checked in on you when you were discarded, those people are as rotten to the core as the narcissist. Either that, or they were drinking the Kool-Aid, or they're too subservient to them. Any way you cut it, they've revealed themselves. And everybody, and I mean everybody, reveals themselves in time. The narcissist did, you're doing it, or you have, I have certainly. And each and every one of us will reveal ourselves before we leave this planet. So understand this, depth perception in the narcissist, not everything is how it appears to be. The narcissist has no depth. Their perception is the mask, it's the allure, the charm. It's how they get people stuck or entering these relationships with them. And then flip it with you. You're full of depth, but you don't have to prove it to anybody. The narcissist knew it before they met you or when they met you. And the perception of you, let people think what they want to think. Not everybody has walked down the path you've walked, or certainly not down the path I've walked. That's why you need to continue to insulate yourself, protect yourself, maintain that small footprint, heal properly, get off the radar of the narcissist, and continue to elevate higher than the sun, the moon, and the stars. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. I love you all. God bless you. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And I'm smiling right now because this location is completely unique, but yet so apropos or appropriate for this video. Depth perception is everywhere. If you really take a close look at your surroundings, you will notice it. And I will share this. There's a person I worked with recently, and they mentioned a very heavy word to me, quantum. And I'm looking into that and how that ties with the narcissistic abusive cycle. That's all I'll share for now. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye.